Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second season review of Good Omens. Who I know some people have been looking forward to this, myself included. Of course, I'm meteorologist Katie Nicolau. Y'all know me from so many random fandoms, and I am joined by three incredible guests. One who's a cult leader, two who may or may not actually want to join our cult after this week, but we'll find out. Jillian, hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm about to rip my computer out of the wall and throw it off a cliff, but otherwise we're good. It's been a day. Which tells you something because I slept until noon, so.
Oh, no.
Oh, my. The day's young for you.
Yeah, well, it's young for me, but Jillian, you've had a long day. You've been traveling.
Yeah, I was up at 2 a.m. this morning, and I just landed at 3 o'clock Eastern time. I got up at 2 a.m. Central time, and then landed here at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Because my first flight left at 5 a.m. this morning. So
your first flight? You mean to say there's another?
Then I had two layovers.
Oh man, you have had a day.
You are not chickadee-boo, as Patrick said.
No. DFW and Chicago O'Hare, so two of the bigger airports in the United States too. So.
All right, I'm tired for you.
Yowie.
Stress now that you're here. Brandi, Char, how are you guys doing tonight?
Better than what Jillian has gone through today. I mean, my day's been fine. I've been nowhere near an airport. Things are fine. Things are good. That's about
always
it.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Brandi, how about yourself?
I watched the last episode or the final episode today, and then I've been struggling to get my reaction video to you. Never record on your phone, guys, especially because I did instead of the last 10 minutes, I did almost the last 20 minutes because things were being put together, and I was like, oh no, my predictions are coming true, and I was like, I have to be consistent, what I think is gonna happen.
Oh gosh, I can't wait to hear your take on this.
Oh, this one this is what has gotten me through my entire week. Which it's amazing the power y'all had to get me through the week. So
wow.
Yeah, it's been nutty. And it's also continuing as nutty because it's still not uploading to StreamYard. So we're just gonna stall. Yes, season 2. Last week we asked if you want to see the trailer. Are you glad we didn't?
Having not seen the trailer still, yeah. Yeah, it was good to go in blind. Yeah. It's been fun doing it that way.
Brandi, how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy that I decided not to watch the trailer. And I still actually haven't watched the trailer. I wonder if watching the trailer would have given me less hope going into it.
Oh gosh!
Oh no! Because I was like, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And then, there's proof that after the first or second episode, I was texting somebody and I was like, you know what? This is gonna be okay. I can see it. The main characters are actually doing something. This is gonna be good. And then it petered off, and I was like, never mind. Never mind. I was like, I was a fool.
I was led astray. No, because it's funny. You all had so much stuff that was you didn't have to encounter any potential spoilers with postings and things. But I do need to show you the first poster that they did put out before we get to your reactions. Okay. I believe, Jillian, I might be mistaken, but this is what they posted to announce that season 2 was happening.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, this is just a really good fan edit. This is great. And then you looked up the account name and it's like, Good Omens, Amazon Prime.
It's hyperventilating.
Screaming. This set it on fire because everyone was like, what can we see? What can we micro zoom in? First off, we have the bookshop is still there. Where they're in the rain. What does that mean? They're standing next to each other. The Bentley's there. There's, I don't know, lights. Everyone was microanalyzing this, and his hair is long. And that the long
yeah.
hair, it's actually a controversy until Neil Gaiman came out and said, guys, we didn't have anything cut from the second season, so we had to use stills of Curly from season 1 to make the poster for season 2. It meant nothing.
Don't read into it that much,
Yeah.
guys.
So for you guys to go in completely blind, I think is probably one of the best things that you probably could have done, because there's so many spoilers. But speaking of
Fair enough.
spoilers, y'all, we're getting into season 2 territory from here on out. If you haven't seen season 2, either take Brandi's advice and meh, or take my advice and meh. You can pause this now and you can go back and rewatch it. But I now have the video fully up for Brandi's reaction. Full disclosure, it was going to be a little bit longer. She sent me some amazing footage and my computer restarted and lost the footage. So we're just going to get her honest, short reaction to the scene. Beginning now.
I have about 10 minutes left on the last episode of season 2, and I think what Katie wants me to react to is just Crowley and Aziraphale kissing at the end, like they're gonna end up together. So that's my prediction, and we'll see what happens. I called it! I called it! Oh, that's more satisfying than it actually happening. Called it. I'm so happy. I wasn't even happy that it happened. I was just happy that I called it. You can see how stressed I am. Look at my hair. This is what this show does to me.
I just thought you were immediately like, I think Katie wants me to react to them kissing, and it hadn't even happened. You're just like, I knew you were going to catch on.
Hilarious was that last week I was almost like, I went like, is what we're supposed to react to like them just like getting together? But I was like, I know if I say it and it's true, Katie will not be able to contain herself. Yeah. Like that's what we would have got. That's what we would have got. So like, I'm not gonna say it. And plus, like, I wasn't really even convinced myself either, because I was like, I don't know, like, I could see them doing behind the scenes. I could see it happening, but at the same time, I was like, maybe if it doesn't happen, maybe that's just like a fan thing, and like fans just really want it to happen. And like I was like, that feels like such like fan service, especially like at the end of season 1. I was like, that seems like a lot of fan service. So I don't know if they would do it or not. And then like the beginning of the season starts up, and immediately we have like that whole thing with like Maggie and Nina, and like them falling in love. And I was like, oh yeah, no, it's going to happen.
Immediate call.
It's gonna happen.
But see, and this is why I was like, we absolutely have to have Brandi and Char react to this, because there are signs, so many signs, that I'm clueless, completely clueless when it comes to most little subtleties. So I needed to know if you guys would pick up on things, and we do have Char's reaction, which again, it's gonna be a little bit longer, but is also great. And I hope I edited it correctly, because who knows if it's the right file or not. So here we go.
I only sent you one. Hello.
No, hold on.
That's like the very beginning.
Hold on. That is the very beginning. I think I grabbed the. Okay, now it's the edited one. Redo. That nothing happened. Forget about that.
Brainwipe. Hello. I have been watching Good Omens for the So Many Random Fandoms podcast, and I am just about to enter into the last 10 minutes of the last episode of season 2, which I have been told is going to blow my mind, because it blew everybody else's mind who's already seen this show. And so here I am recording my reaction for all posterity. Let's see. I'm going to start at 39:57. That's my time code, where we just finished up with Nina and Maggie sitting Crowley down for a little bit of a therapy session. And now we've jumped over to Aziraphale. And I will let you know if I pause for commentary. So let's do this. Let's go. Let's find out what's going to happen. I have no idea, just for the record. I don't really care. I have been going in blind for this whole show. Just let's see what happens. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, pause. Okay. There's no way that Crowley is going to go for this, right? He likes being a demon. What? He doesn't care about going off to Evan, even if it does mean going to work with Aziraphale. That's not really something he wants. Oh, this is going to fail so horribly, isn't it? Shit. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, this moment must have made so many people happy. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're gonna have it there? Oh, you dirty motherfuckers. Okay, this is why. This is why everybody's so incensed. Oh. Okay. I don't know if there's a season 3 in the works, but if there's not, what the actual fuck? Because you can't.
Okay, we're gonna cut it at that one because yes, that's the exact reaction you should have to not knowing that there's gonna be a season 3.
Yeah, and now that I know the answer to that question, I am furious.
I got your text. I was in the car with my family. I'm like, oops. Oh wait, yeah, she's seen the episode. But yes, for anyone who doesn't know, there is no guarantee of a season 3. Neil Gaiman has been commissioned to write a script for season 3. But there's no guarantee. So we might just die not knowing how they'll resolve this on camera.
No.
I think what's really interesting is that Char is reacting, and I am falling place before it happens. Because in my full one, like when it cuts to Aziraphale talking to Megatron, like outside, before like they even talk, Brianna, my sister, was watching it with me, and I look over at her and I say, "Oh, Aziraphale's gonna become the new Gabriel." And then like Megatron starts walking up to Muriel, and she's like reading the book, and I go, "Oh, and she's going to replace Aziraphale on Earth."
Oh my gosh, no!
And then,
wow, you really did call it.
I kid you not.
Wow.
I have a note from episode 2 that says this season is leading to Crowley's redemption.
Ooh.
When Aziraphale was like, "You can come back to Earth," I was like, "Yeah." So yeah, so I think that's really interesting that Char, like, you are able to, like, you know, do what you're supposed to do with shows and like just like react and like have these emotions. and I'm just over here analyzing everything, and I'm like, well, what would we be doing?
Well, see, the thing is, Jilliann introduced me to Supernatural. And one of the episodes, there's a line that I use in all my fandoms now, which is, you can't spell subtext without S-E-X. And so
Stealing
I'm like,
that.
if you go back and you look, it's like, oh, they've been setting up the tea for a while now.
Oh, and they spilled it so
subtext
good.
was right there. Oh my gosh, yes. And there's so much to this season, and I need to know, Brandi, season 1 to season 2, which do you prefer?
This is gonna sound crazy, because given how much I was like, oh my gosh, last week, blah 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 blah, I almost prefer season 1.
You what?
Say what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I feel like I was watching season 2 and going the entire time, what's the point? What's the point? Because nothing really happens. We're just kind of like in this buffer zone going like, okay, what's going on with Gabriel? And nothing, like, that gets wrapped up in like 3 minutes in the last episode. You could watch the first episode of the season, and the last episode of this season, you can get everything that you need. There's nothing happening in between. Whereas, like,
Fair point.
in the first season, you're kind of strung along and you're like, okay, like they're working towards Armageddon. Like, so that's why I think I prefer season 1.
The more
And I'll
linear
leave it at
path.
that for right now.
Okay.
Because you know I could rant about this forever.
Well, and I need to know for both Jillian and Char, whoever wants to go first, which do you prefer, season 1 or season 2?
I don't know. I'm a toss-up between the two of them. I actually watched season 2 while I was on the plane today. And so I was sitting there and I was actually thinking about that, contemplating it at about 6:30 this morning. I'm like, what season do I like better? And I like the plot better in season 1, because I had the same reaction. Like, once I finished season 2, I was kind of like, a lot didn't happen for what I thought it was going to be. Because, like, I thought it was going to be this, like, grand, like, adventure, because, you know, Neil Gaiman had said that he had talked to Terry Pratchett about doing a sequel, and they had written ideas down, and I was like, but, like, these were the ideas? Because it seems like it's very, like, it wasn't bad in any capacity in my opinion, but it was just a little, like, lackluster and not what I was expecting. And then I saw online he answered somebody's post that what he and Terry Pratchett brainstormed would be what is in season 3. This is what he needed to do to get to season, or to what he brainstormed with Terry. So I was like, that kind of makes sense, because this is kind of like a bridge season, and hopefully we get to season 3 and I can see what actually is, you know, the idea. But so it's like, I like season 1 for, like, the different plot points, but I like season 2 for, like, I kind of like the slowness of it at the same time. It's very weird. It's like I like both of them equally, and I can't really decide, and I don't know why I can't decide. So.
What about you, Char?
You know, this is tough. I have a feeling my answer might change over time. Right now, it's probably season 2, just because of where it lands at the end. That got such an emotionally charged reaction to where, like, oh my gosh, this calls for season 3. We must have it. How dare they not have it ready for us right now? But I can totally see Brandi's point about not a whole lot happening, because, like, especially episodes 3 and 4, I felt like we were just kind of wallowing, waiting to get to the end, which is such a weird thing to do when we have such few episodes anyway. And that is because not a whole heck of a lot happened. There were moments, but the bigger story was kind of guideless. Like, I didn't know where it was going. So fair. At least with season 1, there is some structure. You do kind of see the means to the end. Season 2, no idea. So totally see that. And yet watching season 2 for the first time, I don't know, I think I might have liked it a little better, but going back to it and watching it again, I might change my mind.
Yeah, it definitely, I think the structure thing definitely spot on, because season 2, you're going back and forth in time. You get to go and see Scotland with Scottish Curly, which I love so much. And then you get to go back to the 40s again, and we get to revisit that era. And you get to just see Job and everything too. So that kind of, the switching through time can take a toll. I think it did for me, at least. And for what it's worth, I definitely enjoy season 2, because I love these two so much. The more
they love each other.
They do. Well, no, because it's, and I'm sure we'll get into this more with, like, the recap of, like, the fandom and everything. Michael Sheen. That's all I have to say. Michael Sheen is the biggest Crowley and Aziraphale shipper.
Oh, I love that.
I pulled so many of his comments. Of course, I don't have the thumbnail, so I'm going to have to search 103 photos, but we're going to find it.
Okay. Well, you know what? Honestly, one thing I forgot to mention is how like the synergy between Michael Sheen and David Tennant hits a different level in season 2. It is a well-oiled machine. I'm absolutely here for their chemistry. And the whole time I'm watching season 2, I'm wondering, am I shipping these characters or am I shipping the friendship? Because both are so good.
Yes, and Michael Sheen and David Tennant had not worked together in earnest before Good Omens, and now they are on the level of like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Sir Ian McKellen.
So it's like that's the fandom like behind them is both for the show and for their friendship.
Wow, that's awesome. And that happened quickly, really, all things considered.
I'm gonna be super critical of
do it
of this for a moment, okay? Because I don't hold on. No, Katie, let me say. Yes. I don't wonder if this friendship that y'all are talking about, like I see it, like I can see the ship. I don't wonder if it's more based off of these two actors' chemistry than off of anything that is written in the actual show. Because I think that the show itself does a pretty lousy job writing their relationship. There are a lot of times where if I just like look at the face value of it and I'm like, they have not fully explained like these characters' motivations about what's happening plot point wise, but also like themselves. Like there's just like these like little brief moments where you're like, of course they feel that way, but there's nothing overarching. And so that's why a lot of times when I watch the series, I'm like, I think we're getting hung up on the on-screen chemistry between the two actors and not the actual like characters themselves. And so that's why I'm literally reading the book, because I'm like, there is something that I am missing and my robotic heart just is not seeing. And I recognize that and I want to understand.
Because you are absolutely right on how like the written stuff versus them adding in by their own like physical features and how they react to each other on screen. Because in episode 2, when they're in that pub and Aziraphale, he's like, just give me this drink thing. So someone took that screenshot and was like, Michael, explain yourself. And they go, the only thing I want to know in life is if this was scripted or just Michael Sheen. He goes, well, the scene is scripted, of course, but Aziraphale putting his hand on the thin, dark Duke like that is me, I believe. Him and David being friends, I guess he's just like, oh, I know how to do this. And also him, like the fan fiction writer in the back of his mind that he has confirmed he is. It's just like, what if I just...
So, yeah, he knows which buttons to push, basically.
Completely. Well, and it's so interesting to see the videos that have been released and the pictures that have been released of behind the scenes. And as Rapunzel says here, staged just something to feed the fans in between seasons in my mind. But it's David and Michael just being friends. And so the more that I watch that extra stuff, the more I see it coming to life in season 2. If that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Also, I think Nina made a really good point in the very last episode, the therapy scene, basically, where they're talking with Crowley. It's like, you guys don't actually talk to one another. And I think that's the misconnection that you're talking about, Brandi, is no, they're really not. They're spending time together, but they're not sharing on an emotional level themselves, at least not consciously.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And like they don't even really have to talk about each other, like say these things to each other, but it's like they could be talking to other characters about it, or you know, like I go back to that scene in season 1 where the bookshop is burning and Crowley's like, my only friend is dead.
Yes.
And like that is the most emotion and the most like line in the entire series, dare I say, that I'm like, of course he feels that strongly about Aziraphale, whatever those emotions may be. And other times it's just like I don't know, it like they've almost reached like this point of like their friendship, where it's like, well, of course we're friends, so like we don't have to do anything active like to keep the friendship. Like they've just like reached that level, which I guess because they've known each other since the beginning of time, that makes sense. But at the same time, I'm like, as a viewer, I want to see something more. I want to see where they're talking to another character about something that each other did for one another or something like that. Like I just need something more to believe it besides the performances, because I think that strong emotion and the fandom being like, of course they're together. Like this ship is built off of these two actors' performances. And I don't know if I read the script if they would come across the same way.
Good point. They do have script books, by the way, if you wanted to read exactly what they had scripted for the show.
Listen, I've sunk a lot of my life already into this. I don't know how much more I can do. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
Understandable.
I'll read them. I love script books.
No, I don't do it. Katie knows. I will read a script. I will read a script.
You will sink all of your time into it.
And here's the thing, though, is any kind of relationship, whether it's platonic or romantic or whatever, it needs emotional beats to keep growing. It has to. Otherwise, it'll just kind of fade off and people grow apart. It happens all the time. So just to assume like, oh, yeah, things are great, that means things are not so great. Not as great as you think they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the silent, oh, everything's fine, I don't need to worry about it. And then the next thing you know, they're looking like this at you, and you're like, oh, crap, we should have talked more.
Oh, yeah, you definitely had to worry about it. And this is where I called it in terms of like figuring out what was going to finally happen. And I knew it was going to break my heart. And I just thought, of course this is what would happen. Of course it is. There's just no way.
Jillian, I know you and I have been a part of the fandom for a while. Did you think that this was going to happen?
So I've been burned before. So
you're a Supernatural fan.
And so I honestly didn't think it was going to happen this season. I thought maybe if it got picked up for a third, maybe that's when they would do it. But then I can't remember when it was, over the summer, they accidentally released a promo with a screenshot of that scene.
The everyday spoiler.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So that's the only reason I knew it was going to happen like 2 months in advance, because it wasn't Amazon Prime leaked it.
Amazon Prime leaked it, yeah.
Accidentally. And then Neil Gaiman was so angry. Oh my God. And so he was like, everybody was just trying to be like, okay, something was posted. Don't post it anymore. We're going to just try to forget about it. And we're just going to try to be surprised.
Oh my gosh.
So up until then, I honestly didn't think it was going to happen. And then I remember seeing that as I was scrolling on like Twitter or something like that the day that it happened. And I was I was like in my apartment and just like staring at a wall being like, I can't believe he did it. So but that didn't change my reaction at all. I actually saw it, so
good.
The exact thing was like a frame similar to this, and the word "every day" just scrolled across it. It was just for a split second, because it was like a compilation of all the Amazon kisses, like Amazon Prime's video kisses.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It was like fed into just a tiny little snippet. And so it became known as the everyday spoiler. And mercifully, I did not see it. I saw a hashtag Good Omens spoiler, and I was like, no.
Hard no.
And just abandoned the internet for like a few days just to make sure it just went away. Yeah, no, Neil was livid from what I could see on his Tumblr.
I would be too.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh, and there you go. Amazon sends packages to the wrong place all the time. Promos shouldn't fare any different.
That's a very good
right,
point.
Bob?
That's kind of what you get with Amazon.
It's just because I feel like this might have been more of a shock to more of the fandom if that hadn't happened. But like you said, Jillian, still felt it. Like,
Yeah.
it was good
I
to
still
see.
cried.
Aw.
Precious.
Yes. I ugly cried because
I
it's
did too. Katie for like 10 minutes. Like
Oh.
it was so bad.
it's like, and he's like, I've got something to say. You do all the listening because if I don't start talking now, and he's like, wait, just one moment, and it's like, if you want to let him talk, and
Oh yeah. Like this scene, it is so like heartwarming and infuriating all at the same time. That's
I
why
mean,
I
I
love
think
it so
that
much.
actually perfectly encapsulates the entire series for me. Heartwarming and infuriating.
I can see that, Brandi, for you.
oh, and it's just, the torture. No, I would like. It took me for a long time to like not go back and rewatch this every day and torture myself. It's like
Aw.
trying to pick up on subtleties and little things. 'Cause there's so many Easter eggs, which we will get to in a moment. But it's like this scene has been so microanalyzed, and it's continuing to be microanalyzed.
No doubt.
I feel like the fandom's kind of weird. Brandi and Char as outsiders. As a whole, how did you like that last bit? Do you think it felt right? If I'm phrasing that enough. Like, do you think it fit in or was it forced? Because that's been a conversation that some people have had.
That is a good thing to question, but I didn't think it was forced. I thought, yeah, it has to come down to something. So why not this? And why not like go for it? And when they did and left us in that very terrible, horrifying screamo place, like, well, good on you for getting a really like for going there, for doing it, not knowing if you're getting a season 3, apparently. But Jillian, when you talked about how there is a script for a season 3, like I wonder how that's going to change season 2 as like bridging the gaps from the beginning to however this resolves. And let's assume that season 3 is the last thing they do. So that could be interesting. And in that case, no, this is exactly where this moment needs to be in the story then.
Yeah, honestly, that's what made me like season 2 a little bit more, is because I can't remember how long after it was that I saw that post. And as soon as I read it, I was like, everything kind of clicked into place where it's like, this wasn't supposed to be some big season where a whole bunch of stuff happened like season 1. It was a way for Neil to get to where he really wanted to go, while also kind of giving the fans what they wanted in a sense.
Some
what they
payoff.
wanted, but also, you know, making us cry. So it's like,
Yeah, it's like, we're going to give you something you really want. At the same time, we're going to rip your heart out.
Yes.
Well done.
And the end credits being split like this. Crowley
That
in
got
his
me
car.
hard.
I don't know if you guys reacted the same way as I did, but I was like screaming at my screen. I was like, that can't be it! You can't be pulling a Sherlock! This has to have a continuation!
Well, Katie, you got my full video reaction, so I think there's probably at least a solid 2 minutes of me screaming at the screen.
Yes! It's glorious.
In that video. Yeah, and it's just me swearing a lot and saying, how dare you!
It's so perfect because that's what the internet was like on, what was it, August 8th when they released the show. It's been just shy of 2 months since they released Good Omens, I think.
I have never seen so much Good Omens on my TikTok For You page.
Oh my god.
Then the day after it got released, it was like literally every other video on my feed was some sort of edit, some sort of like somebody breaking down a whole scene, and I was like, what is this? Where am I, and how did I end up here? Like...
Well, and all of these behind the scenes strange things like started popping up, like old interviews. And there's one of them that I thought was absolutely hilarious. And I hope the audio comes through because this is Terry Pratchett in an interview. He was talking about him and Neil Gaiman working together because Terry is quite a lot like Aziraphale and Neil is very much like Crowley, especially how they dress too. And so here's the little snippet for you guys.
Neil once said, Your fans all look jolly, and my fans all look as if they're about to commit suicide. To marry.
And like that was all it needed to be like Good Omens is born. No idea that
That's
exists.
it. That's the show.
Yeah, that's it. And so it's just like yours are like sticks, mine are like balls, and I think that they stand together very nicely. So like it was just it's hilarious the comparisons that they've been making, and so you got season 2 and that stuff, but you also get all the bonus features and all the fan edits and all the videos on TikTok. It's just yeah. Now you guys are free to go without spoilers.
Yes. Oh, I cannot wait to dive into all of this now that I can, because I finished the series yesterday.
Yes. Oh, and some of the fan stuff that they find, like, are comparisons that I wouldn't make just watching the show on my own. Like, for example, this one, they found the 2 moments, like, I believe it was Neil Gaiman or Azir or Crow. Words. They actually have names. Michael Sheen and Neil Gaiman. One of them in the commentary said this was the moment where Aziraphale fell in love with Crowley when he found the books in the pile of rubble in the 40s.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, this is the scene where Crowley falls in love with Aziraphale, or at least realizes he is.
Okay.
Oh, there's so many deep dives and cuts where people are like, what if this happened? What if this happened? And I think that's what's going to keep the fandom going, regardless of season 3.
We're going to need it. It's going to be a long wait.
It is. It is. Well, and with the
Painful.
writer's strike and everything,
Mm-hmm.
Neil commented on it, how he's actually written the final pages for season 3 in case he gets hit by a bus. That way we'll have closure. Those are his exact words.
Thank you for that, sir.
So morbid.
Appreciate you thinking of us.
God bless him. Neil Gaiman thinks about us. Patricia says Neil Gaiman has said that he will write season 3 as a novel if Amazon doesn't pick it up for TV, so we will eventually get the rest of the story.
Oh, good. So we get this no matter what. It's just a matter of working out the deal, the strikes ending with a good resolution, all of them, hopefully.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And-
Well,
and then we
WGA
can-
got everything, so
They did. I hope the
Let's
actors
go.
do too. Pay people what they're worth across all industry. Thank you very much. There's my
that
TED
way
Talk.
we can have fandoms.
Right? Yeah.
Oh
we
my
love
gosh.
entertainment, and people who make it deserve to be paid well for entertaining.
Exactly.
Say
us.
it louder for the people in the back, please.
Mhm.
All right.
And I'm
Yeah.
really excited because I'm actually going to be going to a Doctor Who convention coming up, Chicago TARDIS, which is like one of the larger Doctor Who only conventions in the nation, and that's coming up for my birthday in November. And oh, bless my, oh gosh, what is his name? David Tennant's father-in-law,
Oh, golly.
the Doctor.
I know this. I know this.
Hold on.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name right now.
Peter Davis. Jesus,
Yes. So he actually played Job in season 2. And then
Yeah,
Ty
I
Tennant,
noticed.
his son, played Job's son.
Oh my gosh. I knew that was David Tennant's son before I knew that was David Tennant's son, because they look so much alike.
isn't
I had to pause, like,
Cool.
that's got to be one of his kids, isn't it? And so then I looked on IMDb, and then, of course, yeah, there it is.
Yep, and it's was a whole thing. They were going to have, they offered a role to Georgia and Anna, apparently too, David and Michael's wives, to play certain roles, but they didn't feel like they would be representing that historical character properly. So they haven't officially said which characters they were going to be playing. At least I haven't seen anything, but there's
Okay.
hope that they might be in season 3 too. So we're gonna be able to get the whole family in.
Let's do it.
I want to see them work Myrtle in, because David and Georgia have a dog named Myrtle who looks like she let me just find Myrtle.
I want to see Myrtle.
Myrtle is, bless her, she looks crazy, and she probably is.
Is she crazier than Carrie Fisher's dog, Gary? Do you remember that?
Definitely not as crazy as Gary.
Oh, okay. Gary was
Which
cool.
Here's the picture that I love. This is from stage. Mind you, they did their own promotional pictures and everything during the lockdown. And so I'm imagining George is the one who took this picture. So there's Myrtle.
Their eyes are both, they match. They're just
Exact
boing.
same.
I was trying to figure out David Tennant before I even looked at the dog. I was like, who looks at their dog like that? And I was like, what is going on? And then my eyes finally drifted over to the dog, and I was like, oh yes, I'm supposed to be reacting to this.
They're possessed, man.
Oh, what is Myrtle? No, I want to see a dog in it. I want to see Georgia and Anna, and I want to see everyone.
Get everyone involved. Yeah, do it.
Oh, but I've rambled enough about the talking points that I had. What do you guys want to discuss with the cult group now that we're all in our circle?
Well, I do have a question for our cult leaders. And now that we have seen the series, I don't know if Brandi is going to delve into the fandom, but I think I'm going to dip my toe in and see what this is all about. Where should I start?
Oh boy. I'll let Katie start with this one.
If you want to start with the fandom, I'd say go to Neil Gaiman's Tumblr, because if you have any questions for anything, he has a Bible like that's pinned to the top of his page. It'll be every question that anyone's ever had regarding the show, and you can like scratch your brain with that.
Okay, that'll be good.
That helps. And then there's a couple of Facebook groups. I see Patricia joined in the comment section, and Patricia does not usually watch our Order of the Blue Lotus stream, so I'm assuming you're here for Good Omens. There's great groups on Facebook where I've posted our stuff to Ineffable Husbands, Good Omens, just fan pages that have over 20,000 followers in it, and people find stuff every day and post about it. There's one that I posted myself, and I sent it to you guys, or I sent it to Brandi and Jilliann. I'm not sure if I sent it to you, Char. Foxes screaming at each other. It's a white fox and a black fox. And the black fox is just like
dramatic reenactment.
No, I didn't get this.
Let me go and find that for a second while Jilliann tells you where you should start.
Please.
Honestly, that I didn't even think about that, Katie, and that is actually a really good place to start, because Neil Gaiman's Tumblr is just a wealth of information, and he's very genuine with his answers, but he also has no care in the world. And so he's like, he will tell you how, like, he will give it to you straight, basically. And so those are always nice to look through. If you have TikTok, there's plenty of edits there. There's people talking about it still to this day. I still get at least probably anywhere from 5 to 7 like some sort of Good Omens related TikToks on my feed every day. Nice. And so that's a good place to start to
I do like how when people say the Chinese government is just getting all your data through TikTok, I'm like, all they know is I love David Tennant and Michael Sheen.
Exactly.
And what's it to them?
You're in the same boat.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, honestly, just like the general places you would look for people, either, Twitter, Tumblr, TikTok, they all have great ways to get like into either contact or just kind of interact with other people in the fandom, and love people of the internet, especially in this fandom, because they are always posting like amazing content. So,
nice.
It's great.
I think I want to start with Neil Gaiman's Tumblr just to get more information about the show, behind the scenes stuff. I want to dive into all of that, and then probably ease into more of the fan content, because I'm such a junkie for like how the sausage is made. I want to know everything. Tell me every detail that happened. So I'll go there first and do that.
Oh, we should do on this channel some sort of fandom breakdown, how to get started. Because Patricia apparently went and found our Blue Lotus stuff, so double thumbs up for you.
Hey.
We might as well introduce them how to get into it, rather than just being like, welcome to our cult, welcome to our cult, welcome Squidward, welcome Squidward, welcome Squidward. Like, actually giving you the foundation to start. But I did find the video. I don't know if the audio will play, but yeah.
Oh my god.
And was it particularly the episode where Crowley pushes Cyril against the wall when he calls him nice?
Not nice. Nice is a four-letter word.
That's funny.
And I think your exact words when you sent that to Brandi and I are, I think I might have a problem. or something like that. And I was like,
He's like, I've been thinking about
yes,
this too
Katie,
much,
we're
guys.
doing a podcast about this, so I'm gonna guess that is correct.
Oh my gosh.
But that's what you can look forward to, just random stuff
right.
like that. And what's great, you don't even have to have an account to enjoy it on TikTok. You can just be like a no-moo scrolling through and no one will know about it. So yeah. Brandi, you got any questions? Like, when am I going to be released back into my life?
No, you have no idea how many people in my life throughout the week have just been like, just give up. You're not like, just give
You
up.
have to get more
Be
support.
a quitter, Brandi.
Or they were like, I am admiring you for having the strength because I could not. Like, I don't know. Like, I said that I was gonna do it. Why would I stop? They're like, you're not having fun. I was like, you have no idea how much I love to complain about stuff, especially TV.
So that's how you're invested.
Yeah, that's how I'm invested. I'm just here to be the villain.
But it's so much fun.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. I could complain more about season 2 if you guys wanted me to, but you know, I don't know.
Oh, I'm down for all of it. I do have a question for you guys, though, which is, I know we talked about how some of y'all are Doctor Who adjacent, like Brandi, Char, you've seen Doctor Who and everything. For season 2, did you pick up on any Doctor Who Easter eggs?
Oh yeah, I did. But let me see if I wrote any down because I caught them in the moment. I don't know if I put them in my notes though.
Oh no, because there's
Yeah.
no matter how many you find, there's always more, which I love so much. And there's actually Screen Rant did an article on it. I cannot find where I put the folder at, but there were basically starting in season 1. You had when Crowley was like going through all the pages in the universe. Gallifrey was one of the planets
Nice.
that one. Oh my
he
god.
I didn't
created.
catch that.
That one's one. With Newt, he had the Colin Baker's tie, or he had his scarf as a tie.
Saw
That's
that one.
a pretty cool one to see. And then along with that, you also have this amazing moment with the Fez. And that, if you listen very, very carefully, you can hear the TARDIS in the background.
Oh, no kidding.
You can hear like a little woo in the soundtrack. It's there. And it's so amazing. And when he walks into the music shop, the dude who's playing the piano, he's actually playing the Doctor Who theme. And then you also just have like, come on. They would absolutely, like, if he didn't have a Xerophil, he'd run off with 10. That's just
now, this is a show I really want to see.
Yes. Oh,
starring David Tennant and David Tennant. David Tennant plays every character. It's just him. They work him to death.
It's a show of David Tennant playing every character, but it's every character David Tennant has ever played.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
It writes itself.
It does.
I mean, what wouldn't be entertaining about that?
Exactly. No, it's amazing. And it's
I do have one question.
Go for
it. Why do you guys like it? I'm so like. Can you explain it to me?
I have my explanation already ready to go because I've been asked this by my parents and my brother. I think one, it's the on-screen chemistry between Michael and David. You just don't see that in TV shows anymore. It's very hard to find a cast that everyone just seems to meld with, let alone on a different level. Like David and Michael transcend most acting. So I really like that. Also, they're both horribly damaged people, but they're trying to do their best. And I'm like, it's me. I can relate. And also it's just the fandom that draws me into it. You get Star Trek, for example. Golly, it's a toxic fandom right now. On the internet. You know, Char, it's a little but for Good Omens,
there's times, yeah.
Most everyone in Good Omens, like, we can have our occasional spats over things, but it's like the other day, someone in one of our groups was like, am I the only one who doesn't really like the Crowley and Aziraphale relationship? And like this and this. And people will just have regular conversations, which is so refreshing.
What?
And I know, but it lets you get into the fandom so much easier, and it doesn't make you want to run away. It's kind of
Whoa.
more inviting.
So, wow. Okay. That's going to be really refreshing.
Oh,
Because the Star Trek fandom definitely has its ups and downs, and there's times when you just need a little bit of a break. And maybe this will be my break, is diving into this fandom for a little bit and playing over there, and then Star Trek it can wait for a little bit because it'll still be there, number one.
Star Trek.
But then also some like a nice group of people who aren't just constantly trying to tear each other down and like be dicks on the internet. Yeah, that'd be great.
Good Omens.
Okay, for it.
What about you, Jilliann? Why do you like it?
It's weird because it's like I can't actually pinpoint like a reason why. I just like have a reaction whenever I watch it, and I'm just like, something about this just seems. I think it's partially because of the themes of it. Just again, sorry to bring up Supernatural on a Good Omens podcast, kind of like bring me back to season 4 and 5 of Supernatural that are like in that kind of same vein. And I'm very sentimental for that kind of era of Supernatural because I think those were 2 of the best seasons. But so I think it kind of gives me some sort of, I don't want to say nostalgia, but like reminiscing on that is part of it. Part of it is just getting to see, kind of how you said, David and Michael just have this awesome friendship on camera. And then, I don't know, it's just like, it's something so like visceral whenever I watch it. I just am happy to watch it for some reason. I don't know. It's just like they've done something to it that I don't know why, but I've watched it over and over again and I don't get tired of it, and it's like so I don't know what it is. I don't know what Neil Gaiman's doing to us. So
he did something to the water supply.
Yeah, honestly,
worldwide water supply, definitely. What about you, Char? Why do you enjoy?
So the chemistry between the 2 leads. Transcends their characters, transcends them. It's like its own thing, and it's so much fun to watch. I love seeing where it goes. I think the other thing that I really enjoy about this show is the little details, the little things that make it so charming and funny. Like the way Crowley drives like a complete lunatic, and yet he never wrecks. and then meanwhile, Aziraphale, he drives once, and it's just not great all around. Things like seeing a car on fire. Hey, that was really cool. Seeing Nina and Maggie and their journey. I was rooting for them, by the way, the whole time. I knew that they were going to get together, and I just thought, this is the way it's got to be. They need to be together. I'm glad they're taking their time. Let them. That's how it'll work. They'll grow. So I guess it's like little moments like that make up the bigger story for me.
That's such a good point with the Nina and Maggie thing, because most of the time in TV shows it's like, you like you, off to have babies. Like
right now,
they're like, taking their time.
And for the record, I love Nina because one, I used to work at a coffee shop, so I understand her mentality far too well. I empathize. But then, like, also, she's just so very upfront and honest and speaks her mind, and I have a lot of respect for that. And she's just a great character all around.
Oh, yes. And she does lead to the comedy element of things.
Definitely.
Sorry, what were you saying, Jilliann?
I was just going to say 2 things that just popped up from what both of you have said. Like piggybacking off what you said, Katie, the fandom is just great. It's just so calm and relaxing compared to other fandoms. To other fandoms that shall not be named that I've already referenced too much. And so it's just kind of nice to have that and just have, I don't know, like more joy and just happiness being spread in the fandom than toxicity. And then what you said, Char, it just left my brain. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Oh, the like the small comedy moments. Like my favorite part of season 2 that I literally recite all the time is when Crowley's really big in the cemetery and he says, "You've sinned very bigly." And it's just like the stupid like things that he says basically in that episode when they're in the cemetery. It's just like everything when he's like the really giant Crowley and then the really tiny Crowley. It's just like it's the tiny little like lines that were developed that just kind of, I don't know, put it on a different level to me. And it could just be that, you know, I'm easily entertained as well.
Well, you're right about the comedy because it was the #1 comedy on Prime worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, Brandon. No, because Brandon's reaction was, "You call this a comedy?" And they just put the kiss scene and like as you're going, like this.
Wait, no. The kiss wasn't comedy though. What? I'm confused.
Yes,
Anything but that. That was a serious dramatic moment.
it's listed as a comedy.
Okay, Amazon, what's wrong with you?
So much.
You've got such a great show, and what are you doing with it?
We're just like, you know what? Whatever it takes to get us a season 3.
Right, this
All
is
the
true.
comedy.
We should just roll with it. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, speaking of rolling with it, I have totally missed all the comments. So Dave Gregory's in here saying, hey, lurking with an extra dose of lurking later on. And Bob D says, just pair Tennant up with Tatiana Maslany? Ooh. Wow, I'll have to look into her. Let's see. Also,
Isn't
Corey,
that-
saying hi.
I think, isn't that the lead from Orphan Black? I've not seen that show, but I've heard she plays a multitude of characters in that show and is exceptionally good.
Really?
So let me know if that's accurate.
I'm gonna look that up. There's so much. I'm sure. Oh, Orphan Black, Bob D says. Yes.
Hey, all right. Nailed it. And I've not even seen the show. I'm proud.
Wow.
Not yet. It's on my
Really?
list.
Ah, that list that keeps growing and growing and growing.
The incessant list.
Now, my other question for all y'all is, do you have a moment from this season, other than like the last 10 minutes, that really stood out to you that you really just liked? Or one that you didn't like? Whichever you prefer.
There was one line that made me laugh way too much. And that was TOSTE. Toast. So damn good.
Oh, that totally. Okay, we're gonna put the what you liked in the to the side for a second. Did you realize that they recycled actors?
Yes.
Yeah, I have questions.
Go for it.
So the demon that primarily talks to like Crowley, like just pops up and talks to him, whatever her name is.
Shax.
That was the Lady of the Night in season 1, right?
Yes. Yes.
Like Madam Tracy, yeah.
I don't know anybody's names. I don't care enough to learn them. Okay. Because she pops up in the first episode and I'm like, is it? And then like Crowley kind of like, I feel like they kind of like tried to explain it, but I was still like so confused and I was like, what? And then I was like, did she turn into a demon? Is it not the same person? And then like I'm trying to Google it without ruining, like not trying to like not find any spoilers. Like, is it the same person? I'm like, okay, it is the same person. And I'm like, but she was gonna go get a farm with the witch hunter, and I believed that. I'm confused.
Brandi, I had these same questions. I was like, how are they existing in the same plane? Are they just like, do they just happen to look alike? I know it's the same actor, but it's
she
like
just turned into a demon. But then we go
Yeah.
back to 1941 and she's still a demon. And I'm like, what is going on?
It is confusing. It took me a long time to
Yeah.
figure out, they're just using the same cast of people.
Mhm.
Okay. That explains a lot, actually.
The way I rationalize it is it's like the demons and the angels, they see like another person, they're like, I like your face. Boom. It's like Doctor Who. Like, oh, I like your face. Let me make that into my next reincarnation in the cycle. Like I don't think, has Neil given a specific explanation?
No, maybe somebody should ask him on Tumblr.
There you go.
Neil. It isn't just Shax, it's Maggie and Nina. You have Maggie, who is a satanic nun, and then you also have Nina, who is like the ditzy satanic nun.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah.
See, I again, like, if they had just used the satanic nuns in season 1 more, like what I wanted, I probably would have caught that. But they weren't in the show enough, and so I went, I'm not going to get attached. And I didn't.
yeah.
You committed. That's fair.
I also just love how their character names are Maggie and Nina, and the actors' names are Maggie and Nina.
I caught that too.
It's wonderful.
So it made it very easy on set.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like, can we get Maggie and Nina on here? Well, and then we did have one other change up for an actor who actually didn't return, and that was Beelzebub, who changed actresses. And the main reason was, I believe it was a scheduling conflict with the original actress, and she just couldn't find the time in her schedule to come back. So they reworked it into a recast.
Okay, I wondered about
feel
that.
Like I like this actress for Beelzebub better, but at the same time, we didn't see Beelzebub a whole lot in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
So I hold any commentary. Like, that's kind of it for me. I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, kind of liked it better, but we just got to see more of the character. So
I liked her chemistry with John Hamm, which I need to know. Brandi, you mentioned before that you enjoyed John Hamm in season 1 as Gabriel. What did you think of Jim?
they massacred my boy.
They did though. You're right.
He walks up and I'm like, let's go. And then I'm like, okay, you're an idiot again, but that's fine. That's why I love you. And then he just turns into Jim. And I'm like, I want to love you, Jim, but I can't.
I'm right there with you.
Like, what? Really? And John Hamm's doing the best he can, okay? He's doing the best he can with what he has.
It's true. They murdered Gabriel, which I'm okay with because I wanted to murder him myself in season 1. So it's like, yay.
Well, now that you put it that way, yeah, okay.
It was like, we did get to murder him, just differently. Jilliann, what did you think of Jim?
I don't know. I think I kind of liked his character a little bit, but again, like, I'm a sucker for just people throwing out stupid lines all the time. Like, my name is Jim, short for James, or was it short for James? Long for Gabriel or something like that. I can't remember. It's like, it's so stupid, and it's like, but it's also just, I don't know, it just got me, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm like this. So it made me kind of like Gabriel a little bit better this season. It's just like, I don't know why, but yeah, I think he did, again, what Brandi said, the best that he could do with what he was given.
I feel like John Hamm was just like, I'm happy to be here.
Yes,
I'm happy to be here, and I don't care what I have to. I'm just happy to be here. I think the reason why this character got ruined for me is because Gabriel is an archangel, and so like he is the leader of the angels, and he's just an idiot. And it's like cosmic powers, brain the size of a peanut. And so I was like, that's why I really liked Gabriel. And now he doesn't have his powers, and it's just brain the size of a peanut.
That's all he's got.
I say. And like he's kind of endearing because of how stupid he is, and like him alphabetizing the books based off of the first sentence.
That was funny.
Was kind of funny. But like it got old very fast. Like I think that because for me, like the whole like Gabriel thing is what the plot was trying to be, like trying to connect all the episodes together. But they don't do enough. They don't give you enough. They're just like, oh, Gabriel lost his memory. And so, you know, we're doing this and we're doing that. But like, you're not learning anything to keep you involved. And so I think that's why the end, when it all like comes together and stuff like that, is so dissatisfying for me, because it was just like this loose thread that I was like, okay, do something with it. I was poking it with a stick. I was like, go ahead.
Go on.
And then it was just like they were writing and they were like, oh, this is so good. And then they were like, oh, this is the 6th episode. We got to wrap that up. Otherwise, people are going to be so upset. And it's just like, it was wrapped up and then they disappeared. And like, that was that. And I was like, hey, you know what? Good for Gabriel and Beelzebub. Love that for them. Love that for them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so dissatisfying.
I can see that.
I even went back to the first episode and rewatched the scene where Beelzebub is talking to Crowley about finding Gabriel, because I was like, okay, I must have missed something. And she's going to let something slip about like how she's been talking to Gabriel or how she feels about Gabriel or something like that. And there's nothing. Nothing.
Honestly, Brandi, I was gonna ask you if you called the Gabriel Beelzebub thing, because I was like, I was sitting there, I was like, Brandy's gonna, like, the same thing as last, like, Brandy's gonna know some way, somehow, that this is gonna happen.
I did not. Like, he starts getting his memory back, and they start talking about how, like, they're at the pub, and they're like, you know, we'll do second Armageddon, and then I don't know if they say like, oh, we won't do that, or it's like the next meeting that they're like, well, let's just continue to do it. And like the tonally, there's like this shift, and I was like, oh my gosh, they fell in love. That's it. That's it. Fell in love. And then there's like, that's why he lost his memory. That's why. I was like, excuse me. And again, like, I have no problem with it being a love story, but throw us the bone. Up until this point, the only time that we thought Gabriel and Beelzebub had saw each other was at the airfield.
Fair point.
That really is like, it should have been higher stakes, and I thought the whole time it was going to be, but in the moment, seeing like them go off to Alpha Centauri, at least in the first viewing, was like, yeah, okay, fine, off you go. Be happy. Happy for you. Love that journey for you. But they could have done that in episode 2 or 3. They didn't have to wait. So yeah, Gabriel / Jim is very much a one-trick pony for most of season 2 for me. Like episode 1, it's funny. He shows up naked with the box, and that's great. And then everything in between, up until the resolution, until we figure out how it all came together, is just sort of like, yeah, okay, he's here.
Like I almost find myself like, especially when I don't like a show or even like a movie, I start rewriting it in my head. And so I'm like,
default good fanfic writer.
I wish that when Aziraphale went to the pub and learned that Gabriel had been there, that they were like, yeah, we saw him with blah blah blah. When they do say, like, we know he's with somebody, but we don't know who it is. And I almost wish that the person said something about flies. Just something, just a little.
Throw in a wee bit of
something.
spice.
A little tie-in.
Yeah,
Like
just a little something. And then I wish that Beelzebub, like, sprinkling throughout, like, there were just like these little cracks. And maybe there are. I'm half tempted to go back and watch, not the whole thing, not the whole thing, only scenes with Beelzebub, to see if there are just like these little cracks of her being like worried about Gabriel, or like somebody talking about Gabriel, and there's like this slight like fond smile or something, like just something, not like showing up and being like, so we're gonna go elope, bye. I just,
Yeah.
it's so dissatisfying. So dissatisfying.
But maybe
Now-
they'll be back and things will get interesting.
Yeah, because there's a little teaser with extreme sanctions and the Book of Life. Jillian, you cracked a smile. Have you been seeing the conversations online that I've been seeing about the Book of Life?
Actually, no. I don't think
Oh.
so.
See,
I thought
this
you were
is
gonna go
kinda
somewhere
like-
else with it.
This part, I actually feel like they are teeing up for season 3, possibly. There's been fan talk about how something could happen to either Crowley or Aziraphale regarding the Book of Life, or something like that's something big you don't just drop and abandon. So, even though some portions seem like kind of out of the blue with like Beelzebub and Gabriel's relationship, I do feel like in some points in season 2, they're setting some stuff up. Like with the Metatron and it's freaking almond coffee. Guys, I want to know, what do you guys think about that coffee? You have any thoughts about coffee?
6 shots of espresso is a lot. That's what I've got.
See,
But you know what? I had customers who really did do that, and they, as far as I know, they're still alive. Like I would fill
They
a
didn't get struck
large
by
cup
lightning.
with long pull shots of just straight up espresso, and they would drink it, nothing added, and then finish it before. Like I would see them leave, and with an empty cup, and they'd drop it off, and they'd go, and I would see them the next day.
Oh my gosh. No.
So
I'd be
it's
dead on
possible.
the floor.
Yeah, that would be enough to, like, you could actually get a little drunk off of caffeine. Like that would more than
Oh
to
my
oblivion.
gosh. No way. Oh boy. Yeah,
Your
no, there's
tolerance.
'cause that the coffee for Crowley is impressive. Aziraphale usually drinks his tea and stuff. There is a theory, and Jillian, I think you've seen this theory. I might have sent it to you, that the coffee that the Metatron gave to Aziraphale was drugged. And that's what convinced him to go.
Interesting thought. Didn't think
Just
about
watching
that.
Brandy's. I'm just watching Brandy's facial expressions right now.
Well, because it was like such a big thing, like the order and everything, and then even like him handing the cup over to Aziraphale and Aziraphale being like, "What?" and him being like, "Oh no," like and I just thought they kind of like went back to like them being angels and not really supposed to like partake in food or drink on Earth and stuff like that, and so like that's why he was really kind of like hesitant, and then they're like, oh no, even I do it from time to time. But yeah, no, like it did seem like it was a point that was stressed so much, and I was like, what does this mean? But to go as far as now he's under some type of mind control, I don't know.
It might be because he played the master with David Tennant in Doctor Who. But I don't trust that actor. I don't trust his characters. I don't trust anything with them. I think they can be nefarious because he can play it very well. So it's like one fandom's bleeding over into the other of conspiracies. So, but I mean, Cinderia says it means something, but it's not drugs.
That's what I've been
okay.
inclined to say as well. But again, like I am not an expert on this show at all, so don't listen to me.
No, I appreciate Patrick and the cross fandom reference there with Star Trek Voyager. And apparently Bob D almost had a problem with coffee, saying, I had a barista that accidentally did that, an Americano with only about an ounce of water in it.
Oh. How'd that go, Bob?
Yeah, it's like, so
Yikes.
yeah.
I mean, if you weren't awake before that,
Mhm.
you sure were after that first sip.
And I'd finally found, after clicking through half of these screenshots, found the one that I would love to get your guys' opinion on, because it is my favorite scene in all of the season. And it's the one where Aziraphale tells Crowley, go talk to Jim. Go talk to him. And he goes in and he just straight up says, I was there when you told my friend to shut his stupid mouth and die. And I did not care for it. And I'm just like, this, if you just take everything else away, this is like the perfect scene for me because it shows that he actually cares for his friend, and he's like, that's not okay. And you get a call back to season 1, and it's just so beautifully acted. David Tennant better win some awards for this, otherwise we riot.
Yeah.
But yeah, now, what did you guys think of the scene, if anything? You might have just viewed past it.
Oh no, it was good. I enjoyed it very much.
I love just the I did not care for it, like, because I get very like, I care for my friends. I don't want anyone or anything saying anything bad about any of them. Hiss. So it was just like that's part of the relatability of the show and why I like it. It's like, yeah,
You do that for your
taking
friends.
care of the people that I am. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the delivery that made that line so good.
And then there was silence.
That's it. No thoughts, head empty.
Literally, yes. But I know Char has to get going here soon. So I wanted to see, is there anything else you guys want to touch on for this episode or season? It's a very loaded question.
One
What was
thing I wondered.
everybody's- Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
This
One
is
thing
such
I
a Midwest.
wondered was, is Aziraphale ever going to have to, I don't know, pay up a little bit for the little white lies he's been telling? Oh, I don't know, this whole time. Is that going to come back to haunt him? Because it really should, shouldn't it?
With like the ball and everything and the manipulation
Yeah.
that goes on behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Good question.
he, like, yeah, I don't know. They're trying to call him out for associating or at least having some sort of partnership with a demon, but it's like, you could get him on a whole lot more than that. Just to pull out the receipts and like, really? I don't know. I
You
think
turn
the
the
people
body
who are
into
running
stew.
heaven, like if Gabriel's any example, they're just all really freaking stupid. And I agree with Crowley that heaven and hell are just the opposites of extremes. They're both not great. And what they had as a partnership really is the way to go. So I want to see them resolve that in the future story.
Nice. Season
Yeah.
3, writing notes.
Right. Yeah, that's why it was so heartbreaking when Crowley's so convinced that Crowley, I'm sorry, Aziraphale is so convinced he can get Crowley to come with him because you want to work with me, won't you? Like, we'll make you an angel again. This is great. And like, why in the world would he want that? Crowley doesn't want this at all. No. Mm-mm.
Well, and there's a line in there that a lot of people got upset about when Aziraphale is like, well, of course, you're demon, you're the bad guys. And not saying they're the bad guys, saying you're the bad guys. And it just,
Yeah. Yeah, like, no, neither one of them is all good or all bad. They are definitely in the gray area, just like we all are. And that's, like, really, isn't that the point? Isn't that one of the bigger points of the show, is to show that? And isn't that what's so charming and great about it, is they get put into these situations where they have to go out of that comfort zone or rely on one another's, I guess you would call them strengths, to get things done. Yeah. I don't know. I have a prediction about how the story might resolve, but we'll hold that for later.
We'll see
I
you in
think that
3
they
years.
definitely do live in like that gray area. And I think one of my favorite things about season 2 was that conversation where they're like, we're both gray. But Aziraphale was like, mine's a light gray. And Crowley's like,
yeah.
mine's very, very dark gray. Like, there is that. But I think that as much as they are in like this gray area, and that kind of is reflective of like, what mortals are and stuff like that, I think that they lack humanity in their characters. They are still very straightforward. I am an angel. I am a demon. And I think that that is what stops me from like fully getting attached to either one of them and stuff like that. Like, I'll just talk about Supernatural so you feel better about yourself, Jillian.
So sorry.
No. I was just like, I think what's very interesting, I keep thinking about, oh my gosh, what is the angel in Supernatural? What is his name?
Castiel.
Castiel.
Yes.
Thank you. I keep thinking about Castiel and how he is very rigid when you first meet him, and then like as he grows and as you see him, he becomes just more and more human, basically. And I think that that's what I want from Crowley and Aziraphale, is for them to become like a little bit more human, and for them to stop being so extreme. And like, yes, we do have these moments where Crowley saves somebody, or Aziraphale lies, or something like that. But at the same time, a lot of times Aziraphale lies to do the right thing, and Crowley saves somebody because it'll end up working terribly anyways, you know? So it's just like, a lot of times their actions may be different from what they typically would do, but their means ends up being the same. And so I'm like, if you guys could just like start being a little less rigid, I think that I would attach myself to the show a little bit more, and also believe that they actually like each other, because right now that feels a bit like fanfare. And it's just like, and you can at me. That's fine.
Send your hate mail too.
Good, all around. Very good points. Very good discussions tonight. We have a lot to talk about, possibly in another episode about fandom and how to get into it, because there's a lot more to break down with bloopers. I don't know if you guys on Amazon Prime saw that there was an X-ray function. They have all of these old-timey, or all the pictures from the production. They have behind-the-scenes videos. They do have a blooper, which is very rare to catch David Tennant as associated with a blooper. But it's great. It has to do with that Mrs. Henderson lady. I think we have enough time. I'm going to show it real quick. It's adorable. And yeah, this is just a taste of what you can find when you go a little bit deeper behind the scenes on the X-rays.
Magician has just been arrested as a deserter. I'm fucked.
They should have kept it.
They kept it. They kept it for the show. They cut it off right before she says.
Okay, they actually did keep that take. Okay,
it's like,
so like that's so
that's
good.
what you have to look forward to if you choose to continue. Which brings us to the final question. Brandi and Char, as virgin viewers watching for the first time against your will, would you want to join this fandom? And it's okay to say no.
I think I said it at the top of the podcast. I've already sunk so much of my life into it. It ain't worth it. I don't laugh when something funny happens. I just go, okay. Like, they kissed, and I was just like, ha ha, I saw it coming. Even at the end where Aziraphale goes to heaven and Crowley's just brooding in his car driving away, I'm just like, yep, okay. Like, if it ends there, I'd be like, all right, that's great. Love that. Like, I
wish I could.
No,
I wish.
So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be looking up anything. If anything, the only thing that I'm going to maybe dabble in is trying to figure out that coffee, because it was bothering me.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think I'm going to be watching any TikToks, joining any Facebook groups. You guys can continue to send me stuff, and I'll continue to be like, love that for you. You guys can continue to talk to me about the show, but I will continue to be like, it doesn't work for me. And I'm glad that it works for you guys. And if you enjoy the show and you're a part of the fandom, fantastic. I'm glad that you found that community. You don't want me to be a part of the community.
You ground us though. You bring us back down. Everyone needs that in a fandom, because otherwise your head inflates and you become a monster. So Char, how about you?
I think I already gave away my answer, didn't I? Yeah, I'm going to dip into the fandom. I am going to read more. I want to know all the behind the scenes stuff, and then just maybe see where it takes from there.
Perfect. Jillian, I mean, you're already a cult leader. You can't really leave.
I'm just going to continue on as I have been.
Perfect. Well, honestly, this is as best of an outcome as we can get. We had a mix of opinions. We had amazing points brought up. Both sides have enjoyed, not enjoy as much. It made for great conversation. I think as far as our inaugural welcome to our cult, you guys absolutely killed it. And I cannot thank you enough. Char, Brandi, Jilliann, myself. Thank you all so much. Let's see. We also have to thank the viewers in the comment section. We got Sandaria, we got Bob D, we got Patrick. We coming in with all the Voyager references. Love the coffee and the nebula.
Naturally. Yep.
Corey's here. We had Rapunzel here. Dave Gregory, Patricia. Oh gosh, who else did we have? So many people popping in and popping out. And for anyone who's watching the rewatch, thank you guys. You made this fun. And we may or may not, depending on schedules, come back and give you guys a little bit more of a taste of the deep dive into, say, Neil Gaiman's Tumblr or Michael Sheen's manicness on Twitter or whatever it may be, just to give you some guide points to go off on your own journeys. But in the meantime, thank you all for being here. And yeah, go find yourself a cult. I don't know how to end these streams, so we're just going to call it Go Find a Cult. Bye.
Bye.